Welcome to the Wild Mom Podcast. This is your sacred space where mystic moms come together to explore the magic of raising sovereign new earth kids while navigating their own spiritual journey with ease, grace, and flow. I'm your host, Emily Mioto, and I'm here to guide you as you step boldly into your power as a cycle breaker, a way shower, and a heart-centered mama on a mission. Here, we'll dive into the tools, the wisdoms, and the practices to help you feel supported, held, and seen as you balance motherhood and mysticism, creating a life that is not just aligned, but also deeply fulfilling for you and your family. So, if you're ready to embrace your wild side, rewrite the rules, and raise the next generation with confidence and love, you are in the right place. Welcome to the Wild Mom Podcast, where your soul's purpose meets the magic of motherhood. Welcome back, Sovereign Mamas, to another episode where we are having the radical conversations that are allowing you to raise a sovereign child that may trigger you, it may stretch you. And if it does, I just want you to lean into it because this is a conversation that came into your vortex because you are ready to up-level, you are ready to have that, you are ready to receive that because this is a remembering. And if it is already something that's in your vortex, let this be your confirmation. So today we are talking about something that I guarantee is probably going to trigger a lot of you, and that are the 10 parenting lies that keep you and your child trapped in the matrix. So I actually just completed a free masterclass for the women who went through the root chakra activation week, and it was too good not to share. So I have made it now free and accessible to everyone. So I'm going to drop a link in the description for you to tune into that. I highly suggest that you watch this and watch it again and again and again because there's so much gold in this masterclass. This is really breaking down the sovereign spiral framework, the one framework that you need to raise a sovereign child with confidence, with ease, grace, and flow, and while being grounded and regulated. Now, one of the things that came up is identifying where you are in the sovereign spiral framework, meaning at what point are you parenting from? Are you parenting from your patterned parenting? So are you parenting from that place where you're just passing down generational beliefs time after time? Are you parenting from the awakening mystic where you are starting to do this work? It's coming into your awareness. You're wanting to dive deeper into it. You're feeling that calling. Maybe you're starting to do some energy practices or meditation. And then are you parenting from the embodied sovereign? This is that spot where we want to be, where our kids are asking us to be, because when we are the embodied sovereign, then we can model it to our children. And in this masterclass, I am sharing, and I shared with you, like, it doesn't matter where you are, just honor it, feel it. But one of the things about the pattern parenting is that this is my more gentle approach and way of saying this, but this is ultimately matrix parenting. This is you stuck in the matrix because the matrix continues to tell you lies that keep you more, how do I say this gently? That keeps you more zombie-like, that keeps you in this space of fight or flight and survival, that keeps you dependent on those who are in power, and that keeps you more susceptible to information they want you to know. Not information that is accessible to you, that is your birthright, that is the inner wisdom, but information that supports their agenda. Okay? This matrix parenting, most of the time, is not your fault because most of the time, part of this is your own ingrained belief systems that you picked up from your mom and her mom and 7 generations past. But I know that you are a way shower, you are a cycle breaker, meaning that if you are doing any of these lies that I'm going to share with you today, this is your reminder and your confirmation that this is no longer serving you. So if you are new to my show and this is your first ever episode, I love you, I see you, I honor you. Everything here is shared through love. And if you've been in my world for a while, you're loving these episodes, and make sure you give it a subscribe or follow depending on what platform you're on. leave a review and share it with another sovereign mama to get this message out there, because this information is not shared everywhere. And again, part of the agenda, for good reason for them, but us as the sovereign moms, we have the power to shift the conscious collective, to wake more moms up, to be able to support these kids in the way that they need us to. So sharing it with this episode with another mom, just a simple share, is going to be so helpful for the conscious collective to get this message out there and to help me raise the vibration of this planet. So I thank you in advance for doing that and just taking that little bit of time to support me and this mission and this movement and the next generation. So let's get into these lies. The first lie: you are the authority, your child should obey you. Now, I know this is really harsh, and there are so many ways that mainstream parenting kind of cushions this, but this is pretty much the blunt, honest information that is being shared, that you are in charge and your kids should obey you. Now, this is something that was passed down in my family as well. You are in charge. You can, quote unquote, control your kids. And with that, I give a big no. You can guide them and support them. And one of the things that my mentor shared with me, which drastically shifted how I was showing up for my daughter, is that you are not here to raise kids. And I know I mentioned raising sovereign kids just because that's the easiest way to get the message across. But really what you are doing here is supporting their sovereignty that is already present, because they come into this world sovereign, and our only job as moms is to support that, to keep that there, because after those 7 years, then they're on their own. Then they have that strong foundation. But in those first 7 years, we are just meant to support their creativity, their curiosity, their self-love, their intuition, their confidence, their independence, all the things that they already have, without us instilling those programs in them that we picked up from our childhood, telling us we have to work hard for money, that love is conditional, that we have to look a certain way to be quote unquote pretty, all these lies. It's our job to support them. Now, this doesn't mean that we are in charge. This means that we are learning from them and they are learning from us. The energetics behind it is really the most important thing here. Because what this lie is forgetting about is that sacred bond between mom and child that allows us to see them as our greatest teacher, that allows us to see what they are learning moment to moment, so we can align ourselves with the vibration and model sovereignty for them. Okay, that's the first lie. Now, if you grew up in, let's say, a European household, this may not fly for you, and this may trigger a little bit of something for you. Lean into it, because this is probably not your programming. You probably didn't like it if your parents did it to you, but it's probably a somatic imprint that's somewhere in you that tells you have to act this way, or your kids are going to be wild and crazy and disobedient. When in reality, they'll see you with more respect, because it's not that I'm big, you're small, I'm right, you're wrong. It's a partnership. It's a co-creation. Okay. Lie number 2. Co-sleeping is dangerous and creates bad habits. Okay. Now, the reason why this is such a big lie is because I want you to just go back to that moment. Just remember that moment when you decided to sleep train your child. Was it filled with, oh my God, I'm so excited, this is like the best thing for my child? Or was it filled with a dread and a guilt and a, I don't know what else to do, or this is what I'm quote unquote supposed to do? Because if it was the second one, this is because the energetics behind it, what your soul knows, is that co-sleeping is actually so safe. It's actually biologically what we are meant to do. And the reason why this is such a lie, and because mainstream knows it's a lie, is because there are so many products made out there to mimic sleeping next to the mom. Let that sink in. How much money is made off of bassinets, off of weighted sleepers, off of sound machines that sound like a mom's heartbeat, or stuffed animals that sound like a mom's heartbeat. They are making so much money off of you sleep training your child, having them sleep alone. And not only that, the energetics behind it, when their root chakra is being developed and they're being put alone, how much trauma is that instilling in them? And how much money is the pharmaceutical company, the government, those who are in quote unquote power, how much are they going to benefit off of someone who feels alone rather than someone who knows they are unconditionally supported? Because the person that feels unconditionally supported, they make radical, big, powerful moves. The person who feels alone and scared and abandoned, they will follow the crowd. They will do the things that keep them in the illusion of being part of a tribe because they are afraid of reliving that same event that happened when their root chakra was being developed, when they were at their most vulnerable and they were alone. This one may trigger you, especially if you've already done the sleep training and your kids are past that age. But this is why I created Root Chakra Activation Week with that in mind, for you to be able to support your child even after those 7 years, to repair the root chakra so that way they don't hold on to that kind of trauma where they still know they're unconditionally supported. And so I'll add the link below for you to join that as well, if that resonates with you. If it's something that you're like, shit, they're already past 7. What do I do? I got you. I got you. Okay, lie number 3. You must start feeding solids, especially starches, at 6 months. Okay. Now, I'm in no way an expert in this, but I'm going to share with you the energetics behind it. Okay. This timeline of when to start solids wasn't written by your child's intuition. It was written by industry. Okay. Your child's gut, energy, and spiritual body may not be ready. Chances are 100% are not ready at 6 months. Now, there is a beautiful resource, Barbara O'Neill. If you've never heard of her, she is absolutely amazing. You can check her out. She dives deeper into the science behind this and why kids can actually thrive off of just breast milk for up to 2 years. Now, I myself, I'll be completely transparent here, I was unaware of this until my daughter was about a year old. And so I definitely did a lot of the healing that I share actually inside Sovereign Child Academy. Some of that work I actually did on my daughter because I was unaware of this and gave her food at 6 months. Now, I already knew about the starches because the gut cannot break that down until you have your molars in. But again, think about it on a bigger scale. Think about where this information is coming from. And if you follow the money, if your gut is not fully developed and cannot break down starches, and then you end up having celiac disease, gut issues, eczema, all these different things, who benefits from that? Big Pharma. Big Pharma benefits huge from you being sick. And again, at this very vulnerable time, this is when the solar plexus is being developed. This is when the root chakra is being developed. In Sovereign Child Academy, we break down how to support each of the chakra developments and the belief systems that are involved in it, how to support empowering beliefs and how to instill empowering beliefs, how to repair any damage that has been done. The solar plexus doesn't start developing until the age of 2. Again, it's when you see the energetics and how everything aligns, it makes you question why, if the solar plexus, their stomach, isn't starting their development until the age of 2, why do they need anything other than milk before that? Why are we being guided and told to give them food if their solar plexus isn't ready to receive it? So that's your third lie. I love you. Stay with me here. There's a lot more. Lie number 4. Your child must always be clean, quiet, and well behaved. Now, isn't this just bringing you back to past generations when kids were meant to be seen and not heard? Now, a lot of moms are kind of steering away from this, but this is still something that I see on a daily basis when I'm out with my daughter. When kids start throwing a temper tantrum or getting really loud, they'll be faced with shh, 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 shh. This silencing. Now, something to share with you about the energetics behind this, the actual sound of shh, it is harmful to the cells. It actually kills the cells. It is very close to the static sound, and the static sound kills the cells. Shushing is also telling your child to be quiet. How would you feel if you were really excited about something and someone told you, shh? You probably wouldn't like it. You'd probably want to protest. And that's what our kids are doing, but they're silenced once again. When it comes to the clean part, we forget about the power that we have as beings to heal ourselves. And one of the things we talk about in Sovereign Child Academy is that powerful ability that children have to heal. In balancing baby chakras, I talk about how kids are the easiest to heal because they don't have all those layers of programming there telling them it's not possible. But we forget about that and we think that they're not powerful and they have to stay clean because if they get sick, then something bad is going to happen to them, and we take away their power. We are being called to give them power back. This is part of what we're meant to do in these first 7 years, is continuously remind them of how powerful they are. So let's just cross this lie out. Allow our kids to be dirty. Allow our kids to have germs. Allow our kids to be wild, because that is what they're being called to do. Okay, lie number 5. Too much affection will make your child soft. Children, let's just break this down really simple, really fast. We'll move on to the next one because there's not much need to talk about this other than the fact that kids need to co-regulate. And when they feel like they are super safe and can rely on someone consistently, that is when they feel they can expand. That is when they feel that they can be more independent. Not the other way around where we force them to be independent, and then when they're not and they're clingy, we wonder why and we bring them to doctors and we're questioning their development. No. Co-regulation equals independence. Dependency equals independence. So let your kids cling. Let yourself be affectionate. Instill the beliefs into your child that they can rely on you no matter what, that they are unconditionally supported, that they are loved unconditionally. And this is going to be a game changer for you and your child. Again, this is something that we dive way deeper into in Sovereign Child Academy. And the doors are open. Let me put that out there. The doors are open and I'm super excited about it. And we already have so many beautiful moms who are in this space, and I cannot wait to dive deeper into it with you as well. Okay, so let's get into lie number 6. Lie number 6 is tantrums are bad behavior that need to be stopped. So my daughter is just about to turn 2, and in the previous episode, I mentioned about how sacred temper tantrums are. And so if you haven't listened to that episode, I'd highly suggest you go back as it dives deeper and really expands this topic. But one of the things that I mentioned in that episode is about how it's at this time that a very specific chakra is being developed, a specific chakra that deals with autonomy and sovereignty and freedom and boundaries and expression. And this chakra is asking you to support that, support all those beautiful gifts. And so these temper tantrums are really the calibration moments for you in order to support your kids' expansion and freedom. So I dive deeper into it in that episode, so definitely go back and check that out. But this is definitely a lie that can keep us not only feeling really overwhelmed, but also blocking our kids' chakras and dimming their feelings of safety in expressing themselves. And you raising a sovereign child, and I know you want to support them, ensuring that they are free and they feel they can express themselves and they know they're unconditionally loved and supported in all of these moments. This is a lie that has to be reframed, and the truth has to be embodied. Okay, lie number 7. Children must learn to share, say sorry, and be polite, even if they don't want to. So I know for myself, when I was growing up, this was one of those lies that unfortunately my parents followed. And because of that, I ended up growing up as the quote unquote good girl, the one who said her please and thank yous, the one who had no boundaries, the one who did her best to please others. And what happened is that in this experience, as I was growing up, of having to do the things like hugging relatives that I just didn't feel comfortable with, or needing to say thank you or please when maybe, you know what, maybe I just didn't want to. Maybe my mom wasn't modeling it. Maybe I didn't know that it was actually something that needed to be done, and so I didn't want to do it. What this did was it shut down my intuitive abilities, and this is huge. It's in this 0 to 7 that your children either get to take their intuitive gifts with them because they've been supported, or they get suppressed and neglected and forgotten. And for myself, and I know a lot of moms in my community, we have this conversation a lot, our intuitive abilities were shut down by moments like this, where we felt we had no autonomy over what we felt was right, what we intuitively could pick up on that maybe our parents couldn't, that our no's weren't honored. So this is a huge lie that when you let this go, when you reframe it, your children are going to be able to hold on to those intuitive gifts past the age of 7. Okay, my lovely not lie number 8. This one may trigger you, so be prepared. You need to vaccinate your child to keep them safe and protect others. Pause. Pause for the triggering. If you're in this world, chances are you either haven't vaccinated your child, or you have and realize that it wasn't in the highest and greatest good for you to do so. Now, I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole of vaccines. This is a beautiful opportunity for you to reclaim your power and for you to realize the greater agenda here. You can do a quick search. They have to tell you what is in the vaccine, so you just have to follow the white rabbit and you will be led to exactly what's in the vaccine. You can also ask your doctor or your pediatrician, tell me exactly what is in the vaccine. And then just do a quick search of what is the safe level of whatever is in the vaccine for a child to have in their body. And then ask your pediatrician, what is the compounding effects of each of the vaccines that your child is required, quote unquote, to receive? Just start there. That will lead you somewhere, that this lie will be revealed for you. But this is a lie that keeps us small, that keeps us sick, that keeps us forgetting about our power to self-heal. I have healed so many beliefs in myself. I have healed celiac disease. I have helped moms get pregnant. I remember my first data healing seminar. There was a little child who was experiencing seizures and she was mute, and we did energetic work on her. We didn't do anything else but energetic work, reprogramming those beliefs, clearing spirits, clearing trauma, downloading her with new programs that would support her. And her whole energy shifted right in front of us. It was the most incredible and scary experience I've ever witnessed. And there are so many stories of the incredible things that people can do. Take Joe Dispenza. He healed himself completely. He was paralyzed and healed himself completely through doing work like this. The founder of Theta Healing, Vianna Stibel, she healed a broken leg through energy healing. Your child is incredibly powerful. You are incredibly powerful. There is nothing outside of you that can claim power over you. And those lies are just keeping you, the lies that you are small, the lies that you need vaccines, are keeping you in a very matrix place. And we'll just leave it like that and we'll move on. Okay. Lie number 9. Your child should hit certain milestones by a certain age. The reason why this lie bothers me so much is because when these milestones are created, the energetic component of childhood development is ignored. And so there are certain things that happen in these different age ranges based on the chakra development, based on belief formation. There are certain things that are neglected or forgotten in those first 7 years that have direct impact on whether or not they hit certain milestones. All children are different as well. And these new earth kids, so your child, chances are, is expressing different milestone ages than mainstream. For myself, my daughter is just about to turn 2 and she's just starting to speak now. Everyone else around her is speaking earlier than 2. And there are people who are telling me like, oh, maybe she's not speaking, or maybe she needs some support. My daughter speaks to me telepathically. I have no problems in when she chooses to use her words. She has told me through our sacred bond, I don't need to use words. You know exactly what I'm saying. Why do I need to speak? And myself, as her mother and mentor through this, I am bringing myself to speak her language rather than trying to force her to speed up her time when she speaks my language. Kids speak energy, so I choose to speak her language. And because of that, we have amazing communication. People who meet her say she's a genius and she's so conscious and far beyond her level of awareness at her age. But no, she doesn't hit that milestone where she speaks at a certain age. She crawled later, she walked later, but she didn't need to rush. There was no rush for her, and there's no rush from us that she had to hit those milestones. And in sacred, it's not even called sacred, in Sovereign Child Academy, we dive deeper into how to best support them at each of these chakra ages, so that way they can hit those milestones. And also, to be honest, you won't even want them to hit the milestones. You won't need them to hit the milestones because you know that they are communicating with you in a divine way. And in Sovereign Child Academy, we actually help you to deprogram those societal timelines and instead attune to your child's natural rhythm, which is spiritually, emotionally, and energetically. And this allows you to connect deeper with them. It allows them to develop in the way that is sacred for them based on their energetic timeline, rather than the physical mainstream developmental timelines. Okay, last lie, lie number 10. In this lie, mamas, this is for you because I love you, I see you, I honor you, and you doing this work is so sacred. But this lie is keeping you feeling overwhelmed, lost, confused, and that is in no way where I want you to be. This last lie is it's selfish to focus on my own healing and needs. Muscle test yourself for this. If you don't believe you have it, just muscle test yourself. Because this lie is one that has been programmed into us. So those cycles keep repeating. Because if those cycles keep repeating, there's no sovereign children that are growing up and that are in this world. There are pattern children, there are matrix children, but there are no sovereign children. Because by you doing the inner work, you tuning in to ask yourself, why did my child trigger me at this moment? What was really the root cause of it? What did it make me believe about myself when they acted this way? Or when I feel like I have no free time? When you start asking yourself questions like that, you begin to start breaking cycles because you start to uncover what's hidden in your subconscious mind, what you picked up from your childhood that is no longer serving you, that you want to end. And when you break cycles, you heal your lineage because you heal 7 generations past and 7 generations forward. You allow your child to come in without the level of programming that they may not even be aware of. And I talk about this level of programming in the free masterclass, which again, the link is in the description, because there's 4 levels of belief systems that your kids can pick up on. And this ancestral one, those are the ones that your kids will start doing the work on themselves as adults and think, why is this not being cleared? Where did this come from? I have no idea why I'm holding on to this or why I can't let it go. But when you start focusing on yourself and realizing that this is sacred, this is so sacred for you to do this inner work. Because this is what allows you to show and model your kids' sovereignty. This is why I created the Mystic membership, where it's just focused on moms who are wanting to be sovereign and be in their power and know their self-worth and model sovereignty. This is what the Mystic membership is for. So those are your 10 lies. There are so many more, I know it, but these are the lies that came forward for you for today. And so now the biggest question that I know I'm going to be getting from this is, well, what do I do about it? If these are the lies, how do I change it? How do I let this go? How do I reprogram this so I can be sovereign, so I can model sovereignty to my children, so I can support their development so they grow up sovereign and that they grow up intuitive and emotionally attuned? So here is where you have entered into my world. Here is where you start dipping your toes into some of this work. Whether it is you just watch the free masterclass, it honestly should be paid, cancel clear, gifted amount, financial amount. And do my best not to say pay because and cost, because there are energetic frequencies connected with those. So it really should be having a gifting amount to it, because just that framework alone will change everything about your parenting. And that's completely free. You can hop into my reclaimed membership. And again, these are these little things that I don't do. I do the softest launches. I'm just like, yeah, here it is. There's no guess what's coming. There's just, I've done this. You like it, you like it. You don't, you don't. My reclaimed membership includes all of my courses that I've done. And it's going to continue to be adding courses to it for the remainder of the year. And you get all of that for $333. That's it. It's over like $3,000 worth of value in there. And those are all self-paced courses. So you can dip your toes into that and start there. Sovereign Child Academy is starting May 5th. That's a 6-month-long container. And that is really expanding on the chakra development, the belief formation, how you can best support your child's psychic gifts to keep them intuitive, keep yourself intuitive, keep yourself connected energetically to your children, be able to understand their energy, clear their energy, be the model of sovereignty. My next Theta Healing Seminar is actually happening June 13th to 15th as well. And this is where you actually learn the same techniques that I teach you in my courses, that I'm sharing with you, all these different tips. You actually learn how to do this modality so you can reprogram all of these beliefs. So you get to be your leader for your child. Okay, so there are so many options for you to be doing this work, to dip your toes in, to start to embody the truth, because your children cannot afford to have you continue to believe the lies and choose the lies and be a matrix mom. And I share this with you because I love you, because I want you to thrive, because I want you to realize how freaking powerful you are as a mom and how important this work is that you are doing for your children. So I love you. I see you. I honor you. Make sure to follow, subscribe, leave a review, share with another sovereign mom, and we will connect again next week for another episode. Bye.